Welcome back to my podcast. I know I didn't have a podcast for a long time, but we have now a special guest with us. That's Rachel. Hey, how are you doing?
Hello, Rachel Daniels here. How you doing?
I mean, when you don't live behind the moon, you should by now know her. When you don't know her, then you are guaranteed not a bodybuilding fan. The past months, her life changed now completely. That's like, I think that happens only once before. I think Derek Lunsford did that before. Tell us,
Yeah.
how did your life change in the past 4 or 5 weeks?
How did my life change?
Yeah.
Well, I went from amateur to pro and pro to pro debut to Olympia pretty quick. So my whole mindset changed. I mean, those were always my goals, but they kind of just got compacted into like 4 weeks. So, I mean, everything's pretty much changed. A lot's changed and a lot hasn't. Like my business has changed a lot in a good way. Obviously, I'm getting like a lot of business on my online website and coaching and posing and guest posing and this and that. I'm getting a lot of love from the bodybuilding community. But besides that, I mean, everything else is the way I like it. You know, I have still have my circle small, still training hard, still dieting. Doing my own thing, like pretty much just
Yeah, it is really crazy. So you won the Junior USA's, right? And
yeah, the Junior
then,
USA's.
and then a week later, you won the New York Pro. And
Yeah,
that's how you qualified also for the Olympia, for the people who don't know that. So, I mean, crazy is like the most bodybuilder turn pro and then they dream years from, oh, I would like to go to the Olympia. And for you, it happened literally in a week. How was that? Like, how unreal was that?
like I don't have any words for it. It was like it kept like it happened and it didn't. I was like crying, and then I stopped and then I was like, I went backstage and I started crying and they were like trying to do interviews and stuff and I remember I like locked myself in this little like janitor closet for a second and I was like, whoa. I was like, okay.
I need a cookie.
Yeah, I was like, this just happened. Like, okay. But I mean, even till now, like sometimes I'm just driving in my car and it hits me and I just get like really emotional and like grateful and it's wild. It's
I mean, it's
yeah,
crazy.
like you said, it's everyone's dream. But
it's crazy to see your name of that in that list, you know.
Yeah,
That's
that
so
really.
unreal.
Yeah, when someone sent me that list and I saw my name next to like Shanique Grant and Sarah and Natalia and Danny, I was like, oh wow. Like those are the girls that I looked up to, but you never really like put yourself on the same level as them. And now it's like I'm not looking up anymore, like they're next to me type thing.
Yeah.
So, but it's
And
cool, you know, it's I don't think I really wasn't like thinking about doing New York Pro at all. I thought I was gonna take a long off season and get big and, you know, do a pro show next year when I was ready. But my coach and the judges were all like, you know, you're ready. So I was like, okay, what's the worst that could happen? You know, worst that could happen is I lose my first pro show and I get some feedback and it's a big pro show. So, you know, that'll be, if I can do that, I can do any pro show. And it just totally, you know, they put me in the center and they kept me there. And then,
yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how it is for you, but me and Derek were watching, we were live there, and even for us was so unreal. Like we looked at each other, that really happened now. Like, is she really not at Olympia? That's so weird. Like, I texted to my wife. I said, she's at Olympia. Like, I said, how is that possible? Like, it's so crazy.
It's weird. I don't think it's gonna hit me till like I get to Las Vegas and see like the big, like Olympia sign. it's still, yeah, I'm still like, are you guys sure? Are you sure I'm going?
Yeah, now you need to see the people as your competitor, not anymore as idol, you know. Did that already change your mindset, or are you still like scared, like, oh, they are so much better than me? Or...
No, that's the thing. Yeah, my mindset has changed significantly. Now that I've had a chance to like really look at their physiques, and actually, like, one of the judges sent me a picture in my feedback, like, email of some of the girls, like, their back double biceps, and put them next to my back double bicep. And I'd never seen me next to them like that. I've never put myself next to them like that. And I was looking at it and I was like, oh damn, like it's not that far off, like, and it starts getting in your head, like, I mean, even after New York Pro, when I got to look at the pictures, I was going into it like, oh, these girls are on such a higher level than me. And like, yeah, they've been competing longer and stuff. But I think you all sometimes have this mentality that like bigger is better. And if you're not the biggest, you're not going to win. But I just kind of proved myself wrong that like, that's not always about that. And it's about symmetry and stage presence and a lot of other things. And so since that, I'm like, well, if I can do that, like, now I'm looking at the Olympia, like, I'm not just coming to show up and say that I did the Olympia. I'm coming to be competitive, and I will be competitive at the Olympia.
I think even I don't want to be disrespectful to the other competitors, but your condition was not even close to the other people's. Like the woman who was the second, like it was such a big jump. So I don't even think it was close. Like it was, I think, a perfect finish. So I don't
Yeah,
think it
I
was
think,
even close. She was only bigger.
yeah, a lot of the girls I saw, they definitely had a lot more upper body size than me. But like you said, it's not just about the size. You have to bring in the conditioning. I think I definitely was the most conditioned, and I think one of my biggest assets was just my symmetry. Even if some of the girls were close on conditioning and had more size, if you don't have the entire symmetry as a package, then it doesn't benefit you. So aesthetically, that was a big advantage for me, regardless of how big I was. So.
Um, I mean, you are a tough woman, and people know you as tough woman. But do you have fear from failing now because you came up so fast? Do you are you like scared, like, oh, I gonna disappoint people because now I came so fast up? I don't know what happens now.
That's a good question. I think I'm more scared of not knowing what I could have done. Like, I think back on like me not wanting to do New York Pro, and if the people didn't push me that did push me to do it, like, I think I would be in a really upset place right now. I hate regret more than anything. So I don't know if it's disappointing everybody else as more so it is disappointing myself. Like, I have a really, really close relationship with myself, which sounds silly, but I'm always trying to understand who I am and what my fears are and what my triggers are and things like that. So, I mean, yeah, there's pressure. There's definitely pressure because people are like, there's people I don't know expecting great things from me, but there's more pressure of me on myself expecting great things from myself because I know I have a lot of potential and I know what I can do. So I think it's more so any anxiety I have is just making sure that I'm doing everything I can to bring my best package. If I bring my best package to the stage and I get my ass completely beat, that's okay with me. If I slacked off and didn't do my best and skipped things and cut corners and got my ass beat, that would make me really upset. Um, you know, People on the outside are going to think what they want about you regardless. when you win, they love you, and when you lose, they disappear. So I'm ready for that. That's why I keep a small circle of people who have been around me before and are around me when there's no cameras around and there's no trophies involved. And those are the people that I care about the most. So as long as I have that, I'm good.
So I asked that in every podcast, what do you prefer, to win and not be your best, or lose but be your best?
I mean, I would want to win. I want to win regardless. Yeah, like I've had shows where I've won, but I don't think like it was my best look. Like I didn't post any of the stage pictures because I was like, that's not good enough for me. But I mean, I got first place, which is lovely. So I'll always take a win no matter what, but I'd rather be at my best, especially if I lose. But New York Pro was definitely my best look. I can say that. So that was my best look I've ever brought to any stage. So that was gratifying. It wasn't like I don't know how that happened, like type thing. So yeah, I think that was a fair judgment, and nobody can really say politics were involved because nobody knows who I am. So so that felt good, knowing that I won that on pure hard work and my physique.
I think the best answer gave me Nicolas Rouillard. He said, when I win and it was not my best, then when I'm in my best, nobody gonna beat me.
Well, that's true. That's a good answer.
Because I'm always the person, I hate to win and go home and hate the pictures. Like I'm gonna think like, oh, my shape was so shitty. Like I won, but I don't deserve it. That's not my best. Like I hate that. I can't even look at the pictures. Then I think like I didn't deserve that.
I've done that before. People are like, you looked great. And I was like, you will never see this photo package anywhere again.
Yeah.
But,
so I like also to tell people like how I met the person first time. I met you first time, it was a PCA meeting for posing. So you competed before for PCA. What made you decide to change?
That's a good question. Nobody's asked me that before. So yeah, I got involved in PCA. I met some great people there. I did my first bikini show there. It's a really good organization. I like their, outlook on like doing it for the athletes and this and that. But I kind of got thrown into it quickly, and I did a bikini show and I won, and it qualified me for their world championships. So like, that's like their Olympia basically. So I went to that, and that was my second show. And that was in England, and I got 4th in the world for bikini. And I didn't want to do bikini anymore. They were like, if you're going to do bikini, you need to break down your muscle. And I was like, that's not going to happen. So that was kind of like as far as I could have gone with them. I went all the way up with them, and I didn't want to compete anymore in a league where I couldn't go to the Olympia, honestly, because I was like sitting there and I'm like, well, what is your goal with all this? And I was like, well, I want to go to the Olympia, and there's really only one way to get there. So, and if I'm being honest, and I hope I don't regret saying this, but some of the shows that I did with that league, and I'm not trying to bash any of the athletes or anything, but I didn't feel
Competition.
Yeah, like the competition, like I almost wanted somebody to get up there and just like beat my ass, because a lot of the times I felt like I was getting up there and it was, I don't want to say too easy, like I'm because I don't want to come off as like cocky or anything, but it felt a little like there wasn't really a fight sometimes. And sometimes I got up there and I was like, I feel like I worked a lot harder than I had to. So I didn't feel that fire really anymore. And I wanted to I wanted to do a show where I had to fight for it, and people weren't like, "Oh, well, you had that. Like that was an easy one." Like that really pisses me off hearing that.
Yeah, because then
I
you don't
want,
work hard. Why you should work hard? And you're
yeah, and
gonna win
I
anyways.
wanted that. I want people to say like when I win, they're like that was tough, and you took it because you were the best. Like that's what I like. And if I get beat, I want to get beat by somebody better than me, like genuinely better than me. So I just wanted a next level type deal, and obviously, like I said, I wanted to go to the Olympia, and Ian Harrison is like the leader of that in the U.S., and he's a big mentor to me. He always was, and I told him how I felt, and he's been in the Olympia, so he understood that, and I don't have any like qualms or anything with them. That was just my chapter then, and it was just a part of my journey, and I was meant for the IFBB.
Yeah, I mean, when you do something, you want to be with the best. So, of course.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I understand because I did PCA too, and I feel the same, Like, I did like 18 weeks diet, like an insane person, like with 8 weeks no carbs, I was peeled to the bone. And
Yeah, I
even
remember.
nobody was in my category. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but the competition had like 20 people. I even don't have that. That's the only trophy I didn't hold because I didn't want to have a trophy that reminds me of competition that was not a competition. Like it was like I prepped 18 weeks, spent so much money and time, and it was like I feel stupid. It was for nothing. And I
Well, it's
never,
always for something, but
yeah, but like you want to, like you said, I want to fight against somebody who is the same size, and like you go there, win, and then okay, it's gone. Like okay,
yeah, I wanted
I
to
don't know
fight.
why I did that. Like,
You gotta try different things.
yeah, and
So
then yeah, I mean, you learn. For you was a good experience too. And I wanted to ask you why did you change from bikini? Now you answered me already. So
yeah, they didn't. And then they were like, "You need to break down your legs," and I love legs. I love muscle. Like the more I trained with like. I mean, when I first started working out, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I would like go in the gym. I would go to Optimum. That was like the first bodybuilder gym I went to, and I would find like the biggest dude in the gym, and I would go up to him and ask if I could work out with him for the day. And I just trained like a savage. Like even though I was lifting like no weight, I was like, I was like pretending I was Dorian Yates and like stuff. And I got bigger, and I loved it, and I loved the vibe, and I loved muscle, and bikini just did not feel natural on me, like the posing and the hair, and that's just not who I am. And no disrespect to bikini girls, but that's I love muscle, and I didn't want to do figure. I don't think I had the figure shape. I guess I could have tried it, but
I mean,
I think
you build so fast muscle. Why you should do figure? Like
yeah, I
you
think
jumped over bikini to physique like in no time, so it doesn't make sense.
yeah, the rate I was growing, it was like, yeah, we're probably gonna let's see how you do in physique. So yeah, I did Hurricane Bay actually like a year ago in this month as my first MPC show, and I did physique and bodybuilding, and I won all of it, which was great. I got like novice overall, champion of champions. I don't know what that means. Bodybuilding overall, and
So, like,
yeah.
I don't know you that long. That's why I want to ask it. Were you always like that tough woman, or did the sport make you to that person? Because, like, for guys, they can't understand. Like, for us, being at the gym and train hard and build muscle, that's normal. But for women, that's not normal, and people make always weird comments and like, you know how it is. Like, were you always from the beginning on like a big mouth like you have, or did you needed to build because of bodybuilding?
I think, well, before I was a bodybuilder, I acted very tough. I was always a tomboy. Like, I was always doing like sports with the guys, and like I'd rather go mud wrestle than go get my nails done type thing. But I was like emotionally, I was very defensive, and like I put on this like I don't need anybody persona, but it was really fake, I think, because I was I really didn't know who I was on the inside, and I was pretty scared, and I was pretty just angry at the world for a lot of things. I wanted credit for like a lot of things that I hadn't earned yet. And I didn't have any sense of like discipline or patience or anything like that, and I didn't know who I was ultimately, and I was so like a lot of that hardness was kind of a front, but I always knew I had, like, you know, anyone who knew me knew I had a fire in me, and whether I wanted to use it for good or evil was up to me. But once I started bodybuilding, I definitely became equally as strong mentally as I was becoming physically. So probably even more. At the rate my body was growing, my mind was maturing as well. I was learning, you know, patience and humility, which was one of the most important ones. And all of those components, and as well as me just having to, I forced myself literally to be alone for a year and build something on my own. And everything I built, I made sure that like I was the one who built it. Like anything that you're going to do, you're going to earn that, you know, no cheating, no asking for help. So that really taught me a lot. And yeah, I think that added on to my hardness and everything like that. But it also made me a lot wiser and emotionally mature at the same time. So I've always been like that. I think I used to fake it, and now I've found who I really am, and it's a lot better of a person, and I'm more comfortable. So yeah.
I mean, I understand. Like when I started with fitness and bodybuilding, the first couple of years I even didn't date girls. Like I thought, like I don't need any distraction. I want only me. Like
Yeah.
I was like eating, going home, laying down, eating, going home, training. Like
Yep.
because I didn't want to also give somebody credit. Like I did that by myself. Like I want to not that
Yeah.
somebody comes like, oh, you had so much help and no, this was nothing help. I was alone. Even when I
Yeah.
came to America, I was like a year, like only training, eating, and sleeping. Like people like, oh, you want to go out, see something from America? I said, I have time for that. Like when I'm older, you know. Now it's
Yeah.
time to build something first.
You kind of like get in this. You kind of like get in this like warrior zone where you're like you
Yeah,
start to like it a little bit. Like you're like you feel like, yeah, I'm doing everything on my own. Like I don't need anybody. Like it's kind of like you get hype a little bit. You're like, yeah, like I'm in the trenches and I'm going to do all of this by myself. At first it was like, you know, I saw people leaving my life because I couldn't go out with them. I wasn't going drinking with them till 2 a.m, you know, like guys who wanted to um, date me, you know, they were like, well, I don't want a girl who can't, you know, you can't come out and eat with me and you can't hang out with my friends and we can't go to parties. Like you're no fun. And so that was kind of hard at the beginning just because I used to be like the party girl and all those people were falling out of my life. But I, you know, ambition is lonely at the end of the day. So eventually, after being alone for a certain amount of time, like and I don't mean romantically even, like, but the right people will start coming into your life. Like other champions, if you're acting like a champion, champions will come into your life, and those will be your people. You know, like good people will just start to surround you if you become a good person. So yeah, that's been a change, but it was definitely for the best. It's just the universe weeding out people who were not meant to be in your entire book.
but besides of that, when you are honest, do you not feel sometimes still alone? Like I need to say, even that times, I had times like I feel like I need somebody. Like there's always a moment where you feel like, damn man, that's like horrible. I'm always alone.
Yeah, no, I definitely have times like that. Especially like after shows, I think, like when the hype kind of dies down and everybody goes back to doing what they do. There's just some days where you're like, I'm just it'd be cool to have somebody to talk to or like tell somebody about. And I have plenty of people I could call and do that, but like I just don't. Um, so
It's not
yeah,
the
there's
same. It's not the same like I have a boyfriend or
yeah. But at the same time, then I think about it, I'm like, well, anytime I've been in a relationship, I don't think I've done my best. I haven't put myself first, and I haven't.
then you
Um,
didn't met the perfect person.
yeah, and yeah, exactly. None of those people obviously were the one. So I'm sure when I meet the one, everything will fall into place, and it'll fall perfectly into my life, and they'll be that support, and I'll still thrive individually. But right now, I just like literally. I'm the type
Only
of person I can't afford it. Like, I can't afford to be to put myself in a vulnerable position right now where I'm like emotionally involved in somebody. And like in my head I'm thinking like I barely have time for myself, and right now this is my moment where I need to utilize all of my assets and my full potential. All my energy needs to go to myself right now, so it wouldn't be fair to me to try to bring another person in when I couldn't give them my full effort. And also things like heartbreak and people cheating and things like that, like I can't afford that, like 4 weeks out from the Olympia. Like I just can't afford it. So right now it's just blinders.
only for the spectators. I mean, you are still single.
Yeah, I'm definitely single.
Okay. Yeah, now you're gonna hate me because you're gonna guarantee have some private messages on Instagram. So you
Oh,
guys
I know.
heard she is single.
I
So
already get them. I already get them. Trust me.
now it's gonna be reversed. You can say thank you
Funny.
next time.
Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna send them to you.
No, don't.
I'll give them your phone number.
What I wanted to ask is in women's bodybuilding is like there's a lot of creepers, and when you're the sport is expensive, and a lot of bodybuilder women come in that road like to sell themselves like with muscle worship with stuff like that. First of all, I don't know if you have OnlyFans or whatever. You don't need to tell me, but when I know you wouldn't do the most of the stuff what they do, you wouldn't do it because I know you too good. But what do you think about that? What tips can you give women who comes in that branch and want to make the fast money? So what would you say?
I think if your mindset is fast money, then you're probably not gonna retire one day with a lot of money. First of all, second of all, um, I don't hate on anybody's hustle. Like if you want to be a stripper, be the best stripper you can be. If you want a fans only, have the best fans only. Like do it to your full potential. To each their own. Me personally, I don't like fans only. I don't, for my own image. Not just that. I just think I've just found a lot of other ways to make money that I'm more comfortable doing, and I feel better about myself doing it. A lot of people, I would tell women, yeah, like it's our whole lives as women, we're kind of looked at as sex objects, so it's easy money to monetize that if you want to. But there's definitely other ways, and like you can, as a female bodybuilder, as any bodybuilder, if you're smart, you know that you're not going to make a living off of competing. Like your prize money for a show is not going to be enough. It's just not. I mean, at least for the way I want to live, it's not. And if you're at a higher level, you're only going to be doing maybe like 1 or 2 shows a year, like the Olympia and maybe another pro show if you're really successful. So that's 2 shows a year. That's, even if you win both of those shows, that's not going to be enough money. And I'm not Phil Heath, so I'm not going to be making what the big boys do anyways at the Olympia. So you got to branch out, find your niche. Like my niche, for example, is people really like my posing. It's new, it's weird, it's different. I have a certain stage presence, so I capitalize off that. I make posing routines. I do mandatory posing coaching. You can make a lot of money in online nutrition and coaching. I do that. You can sell workouts, pre-made workouts, custom workouts, programming, things like that. Merchandise. If you have a certain look or a brand, you can capitalize off that. A lot of girls just mess up because they fall into the majority and they look the same, unfortunately, and they send the same message as 1,000 other fitness girls. So they really, my advice would be to like look as a woman, look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, what makes me different than all the other girls in the fitness industry right now? Because it's such a big industry. Like it's like a music artist or like someone trying to be a rapper. What makes you different from any other rapper? If you don't have a thing, and if you haven't sat down with yourself and found your thing and then just capitalize the shit out of that. So like there's a million ways you can do that. And I'm still all the time thinking of all these different ways. And it gets overwhelming, but yeah, as long as you're a hustler and you do the same thing consistently for a long time, it's just the law of attraction. Like things will happen. Just like if you commit crimes for a long time, you're going to go to jail eventually. So like if you keep working hard and hustling, and I mean all the time, and not just giving up after a little bit in business, whatever that business is, it's 2020. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to get a degree. You don't have to be a doctor or a lawyer to be successful. It's just up to you. Like, how creative are you trying to get? How late are you trying to stay up at night? How many whiteboards are you trying to draw on and scribble different crazy ideas until you have the balls to take one and make it and monetize it, you know?
I mean,
so that's where
yeah.
I'm at.
No, and I mean that's a good advice, because, like I said, people want always the fast money, but they don't think about the future. Especially when you want to successful compete, you need to plan every step ahead. You know, you can't do something. Oh, sorry, I did that. You need to plan everything. You need to believe in you.
Right.
Before I forget, I'm gonna also do under the video the links for your coachings and
Cool.
for your posing coachings, and you do also trainings plans and meal plans, right?
Yeah, I do like coaching and nutrition, or some people just get training, some people just get nutrition, and then I do posing like in person. If you're in Tampa, I do routines, mandatories, but a lot of my clients are, all over. So most of my posing sessions with people are like this,
Mm-hmm.
FaceTime or something. We make it work. Then I've been doing a lot of guest posing, which I've been lucky to do because I enjoy that, and it keeps me up.
Now you can't get fed anymore all season.
I know, that's what I was thinking too.
Now there's no more food for you.
I know, I was like, what the hell? Like, it's
Because
kind
I
of
know you are like me, like off season, like you eat like for 5 people, and then on diet you eat like a child.
yeah. Now I'm like, crap, I have to do that thing next
Yeah,
weekend. Like,
now I can't eat this, and I
I
can't eat
should
that.
not have 17 peanut butter and jellies. Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to also ask is, like, how did you manage in all that time, like all those bad comments? Like, I can't imagine how that is, but even when you're a tough person, when everybody always, you hear all the time, oh, you look like a man, why you look like a man? I don't know how your family is, how your friends are, how did you deal with that?
Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like I've dealt with it a lot better than a lot of the other girls that I talk to, and I hear their stories. Um, as far as like people on the internet, that really doesn't bother me because those people, and I'm saying this honestly, like genuinely, that doesn't bother me because I don't know these people. They're complete strangers. They're not even faces to me. They're usernames, and it's easy. I guess it could be easy to take those kind of things personally, but you know, the more you bodybuild and the more respect you gain from the sport, and like people like you understand, like we all kind of have, everyone who's like really been through it in bodybuilding has this like mutual respect. Like, I understand what you've been through type thing as an athlete. So the people making those comments, usually you learn after a while that they're doing that out of ignorance, and they're really just uneducated, which makes it a lot easier than believing that you really do look like a man and you're disgusting and this and that. And usually that's where that's coming from. You know, it's not just with bodybuilding. People get upset and they bash and they try to break and they try to kill things they don't understand. That's just humanity. It's been like that, you know, for years in many different situations. So it's even like, you know, when I go to the grocery store, even like if I wore like something like this, even I'm gonna get tons of looks, like stares and whispers and like things like that. And it used to really make me uncomfortable. Like I used to get really pissed off. But then I realized that, you know, some of those people aren't even like disgusted by you. They just have never seen a woman with muscle and they're actually like intrigued and probably want to know more. So sometimes I just take the chance, you know, I try to smile more. Like if they want to get, if they want to ask questions, I try to be more patient with people. But then there's just some assholes who like, but that are out there. But I mean, a lot of them just hate themselves at the same time. So you kind of just gotta, you know, pray for them and feel bad for them. I ignore most people, but some days I'm confrontational and I try to kill them with knowledge. But it really hurts me more when I see like other girls, like a lot of girls reach out to me behind the scenes and I try to answer them. But like I've had a lot of girls tell me they want to give up on lifting, and or they wanted to move up to like women's physique from like figure bikini, kind of like I did, but they didn't because they had a spouse who told them like if they did they would leave them because they would look like a man and their family doesn't support them. So that's like really why I speak out a lot about it mostly. And I think a lot of people misinterpret it that I'm speaking out about it because I'm upset about it, but I'm speaking out because I think I have a voice where I can unify what a lot of these girls are going through, and I don't mind being the face and the voice for that for all those girls. So that's what really pisses me off is seeing other female athletes not taking chances on their full potential because of people close to them. And it's not just guys, it's girls too who are like doing that. And it's, you know, it's like I said on a video the other day, like if we're gonna accept body shaming as not right in our society, and if fat is beautiful now, you know, if fat is beautiful, like this is my choice, my body, my choice, then it should be the same with female bodybuilders. If you want to celebrate the fact that you're overweight and you love your curves and all of that, that's great. But then you can't come to me as a woman with muscle and tell me that I look like a man and this and that. But if I call you fat, then I'm body shaming and this and that. And like, that's not right. Like, why? Because the majority of the world is fat and I'm the minority and you've never seen someone like me. So I'm an alien to you. So you can by default judge me and bash me. Doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. And I mean, I could rant about like gender and androgyny and all of that all day. But I mean, and well, what makes a man and what makes a woman? We all have male and female characteristics. People are just ignorant, and when they say man and woman, they automatically think of what's between your legs, and that's not what it is, you know. As a female bodybuilder, I have male characteristics and female characteristics, and that's not, I'm not talking about my anatomy. I'm talking about my ambition, my spirituality, my work ethic, my hardness, my softness, all of those things. Males and females, we're ambiguous in that sense. It's in androgyny is the word for it. They're shared characteristics of the sexes. So a lot of people don't understand that, and they have this idea in their head that a girl's supposed to wear a skirt and have no shoulders and zero quads, and keep quiet and cook meals, and the man's supposed to be the man and have all these muscles, and it's just not that world anymore. So the ignorant people will weed themselves out, and they can stay in their lane or they can get educated. But either way, you know, female bodybuilders, most of them didn't give a fuck about what those people thought when they started, and they sure don't give a fuck about it now. So
Yeah, I mean, I thought last time about that because I was really overweighted, like I was fat. I had like hips like a woman. I was like literally in every transformation, and you are never gonna be happy because every time somebody, when I was fat, they said I'm fat. When I was 160 pounds, men's physique, they said you're skinny. Now
yeah,
I'm big, they say you're too big. Like, okay, like
yeah,
you can never, what do you want? Like, what should I be now? So
yeah.
you
Nobody
need to
ever
like
loves you.
yourself because they're always gonna find something, you know?
Yeah,
And now I'm at the grocery store, people, I'm not that patient like you because like sometimes like the weirdest comments are coming and I'm really impatient. My wife is always laughing. Like, how much protein do you eat? Like sometimes I have a bad day or something, and then I'm snapping. But like you said, they
yeah,
don't see that every day, so that's why he asking those stupid questions.
yeah.
But
The closer you get, that's why it's so important through all of this. Um, I constantly remind myself to stay in touch with who I am. I'm always in my head about who I am. Why are you feeling this way? Like I analyze everything about myself. I make sure I'm very in tune with who I am, what I want, so that I can avoid me doing things for what other people want. You know, because like you said, no, there's no definitive idea of beauty. It's everyone has a different, you know, view of what beautiful is. So whether you're a bodybuilder or not, if you're living your life based on what's beautiful today, um, you might be beautiful for that one guy, but then another guy's going to tell you that you're disgusting and you should look like this. So then you're going to go chase this, and then another person's going to tell you you look like shit. So if you're always chasing other people's ideas of beauty, you're going to be devastated constantly, and you're going to feel worthless. But the second you stop worrying about everyone else and take the time to ask yourself what you love, and what you want to look like, and then you achieve that, that's when it becomes addicting, and that's when you become powerful, because now I'm the woman that I want to be. So if you tell me that you don't like how I look, it doesn't bother me, because
mm,
I'm fulfilled inside and on the outside. I like how I am. I didn't do it for you. So now that you don't like it, doesn't matter. That's powerful.
yeah, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an important question because I think a lot of girls are struggling. You know, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if they are bikini or physique, like in which category they struggle. You know, and it's always
Well, it is hard, because it's like, let's find what you love and chase what you love, but also let's put ourselves on stage in front
uh,
of strangers
yeah,
and take what they say they love and change things about yourself that they want you to change. So it's a tricky line that you have to cross, but I don't think as a true athlete you should be doing it just for the trophies. And if you are, you can get wrapped up in that pretty quickly. So like I said, just remembering who you are and why you started lifting in the first place. that's going to be a big difference than just living your life based on someone else's opinion, even if it's a judge, even an Olympia judge, you know?
So I have now the last question. What's your OnlyFans? No, I'm kidding. No, I wanted leave that for the spectators. By 50 likes, we're gonna do together a leg day, and you guys can watch how I destroy Rachel. 50 likes on the video, and she's gonna be destroyed.
You're like the one person I'm scared to do legs with.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I want to do it legs with you because I think you are one of the person who would take it. Like I train with a lot of people, and every human who I trained with since now has one breaking point. Like literally a breaking point that they say, okay, I really can't. Like I don't.
But see, I like that.
Yeah,
like,
I love that. That's why I first day I went to MI40, and Ben was there, and he said, "You want to train legs with me?" And everybody said, "Don't do it, don't do it." I said, "Yeah, I want to do it." And I still remember that was the most horrible day in my life. And I like that. Like I rather train somebody who destroys me than with somebody I need to teach.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, well, you're like me. You're the same as me. I was telling Derek that the other day. I was like, I didn't know if I should have done legs with him before New York Pro because I know how I am, and I know like I wouldn't break. Like I don't give a fuck. Like if we're doing legs, I would let you break me until I like was totally broken because it feels so good just to get broken sometimes. You know what I mean? That's so messed up.
I love it.
But I love it. That's how I'm like.
Before New York Pro, a couple of weeks before I asked you, I trained with Fred, and he said, "Can I join you for like?" It's up to you. I did 2 sets with him. 2 sets. Cooking.
No, I'm here for it. I like
I'm glad. So you guys heard 50 likes. We're gonna do a video uncut how she pukes, how she.
Let's do it, man. I got food in me now, so I'm ready to rock.
Yeah. Thank you for taking time. I'm sure we're gonna do that a couple of weeks before the Olympia to see how nervous you are.
Yeah.
And maybe some videos also in Vegas because I'm gonna be there too.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I wanted to say thank you to you because my wife knows you were really a big motivation for me. Like a couple of weeks before, I was losing like my hope, and then when I saw you from where you came and how far you came, like sitting on the spectators, like and saw you on stage, it was really a big. I always tell her people can never push me in the workout of life because I'm a person. When somebody talks to me, that doesn't motivate me. Me motivates when people do something that impress me. Like I'm a person, you can talk an hour to me, it would change anything on my mind. You could do one movement and I would say, okay, I need to change something. And that was like, when I saw you winning, that was really a big moment. I was like, okay, I got this. I need to do that now.
No, I feel that. Yeah, it's like, show me, like, I'm the same way. It's like, you could give me a motivational speech for an hour and I'm not going to blink twice, but like, show me a little bit of your pain and like how you turned it into greatness. And like, that's gonna speak volumes. Sometimes you don't need any words at all. You know, you motivate me too. So we're gonna train a lot this prep. I'm excited for that because I know when I'm gonna get in the trenches, like you and Derek are gonna be the type of people that I need around.
Yeah, because I really give a fuck. That's the problem. Like, I really give a fuck how bad day you have and how much pain you have. Like, I am not gonna leave you out of the. I am like really stubborn. Like when I have something in my hand, I bring you through. Like I don't care if you cry.
Well, that's how I am because I've had a lot of, I'll start complaining and like some people will be like, oh, okay, like let's take it easy. And in my head, I'm like,
Why
No,
are
you
you
shouldn't
like
have
easy?
fucking taken it easy. Like,
Yeah.
make me.
Yeah, that's me. Like I always say to
Nah.
Derek, bro, no, I had one more. Why you didn't help me? I didn't know you can, but I don't care. Then worst case, I stuck in the machine.
Nah. It's gonna be an epic season for sure.
So, when you guys didn't subscribe the channel, subscribe the channel, and I write down also her contact information, the website. When you guys want to hit up for posing, I mean, there's nobody better for posing. Also for nutrition and coaching. I mean, she has now food, so she has time to coach. I wouldn't disturb her a week before the Olympia, but now is a good time for her. And don't forget, 50 likes. Thank you for taking time. I see you next week in the gym.
All right. I'll see you there.
Bye,
Thanks.
Rachel.
Bye.